Many people have heard of Lyme disease, but little is known about its devastating effects. Well, our own Brooke Landau knows firsthand. She shares her story of struggle, survival, and determination.
Well, good afternoon, everybody.
You know the voice.
All right, let's take a look here at the South Bay.
You know the name.
And we'll be back in 30 minutes.
You know the smile. But for 10 News traffic reporter Brooke Landau, the road hasn't always been so smooth.
Every day that viewers see me on this newscast, I'm in pain. And I just, push through it and live through it.
A near fatal battle with Lyme disease, one that would last more than a decade, began in a split second.
In 1995, I went to bed absolutely fine. 1 year out of college, climbing the corporate ladder, had a great job, went to bed one night, as I said, perfectly fine, and woke up paralyzed from the waist down and the neck up and didn't move again for a year and a half.
Unable to move, the pain of that life-changing moment remains.
I started yelling for my mom, and she came and they brought me to the hospital.
Although she didn't know at the time, Brooke had been bitten by a deer tick. It's the most common way to contract the disease, but her diagnosis wouldn't come for another 7 years. Despite 7 positive spinal taps, her blood tests kept coming back negative.
So it kind of ties the hands of the doctors. I mean, it's hard for them to treat you if the tests say they're negative.
It's believed lab tests to detect Lyme disease are unreliable, an estimated 50 to 70% of the time.
Lyme is the great pretender.
Family practice physician Dr. Therese Yang points to the complexities of the disease.
It can present anyway. It can present neurologic problems. It can present with arthritic problems. It can present with, cognitive trouble remembering, trouble thinking. So the presentation is vast.
I lost my short-term memory. I lost hearing in my left ear. I began to lose my sight. I developed gallstones, colitis, spinal meningitis, heart arrhythmia, palpitations, arthritis.
Brooke says she's alive today because one doctor was willing to put his medical license on the line.
I had a doctor who said, well, let's give this a try.
The experimental treatment, not approved by the FDA, consisted of pumping high doses of antibiotics into her heart 24 hours a day for 2 months. She also underwent 30 days of treatment in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
And they believed that by hyperoxygenating all of the tissues and cells, it would allow the medication to penetrate a lot deeper and kill the disease.
Brooke's doctor ended up losing his license, even though he saved her life.
I think you have to get to a point where you stop expecting to be cured, because that's not survival. Some of us are just never cured. And instead, you adopt this, like I did, this relentless hope that no matter what the outcome is, you will make a life for yourself.
Just 2 months ago, Brooke tested negative for Lyme disease for the first time in 12 years. Although she will always have some measure of chronic pain, Brooke, ever the optimist, looks to the future.
This means the world to me. I'm so happy to be here in San Diego and be alive and in this fantastic city and just moving forward.
And bringing people their traffic news.
That's right.
We're glad Brooke's here too. For more information on Lyme disease, log on to our website, 10news.com, and click on Staying Healthy. There you'll find some helpful links. So Brooke joins us now. It's just a remarkable story, as you said, of survival and determination, and you're here looking happy and healthy.
Thank you.
Are you completely free of the disease, Brooke?
Well, I'm definitely a lot better, as you can tell, but this is a lifelong struggle that I'll just have to manage. And twice a week after our newscasts in the morning, I go and get IVs for several hours. So,
wow. So this will be with you for a while. You have become such an outspoken advocate on an international scale. I mean, we think of this disease as, well, you picked it up in Lyme, Connecticut, of all places, and we kind of think of it as an East Coast problem, but that's not the case, is it?
Not at all. There's a very high incidence of it right here in California, and it's now the fastest growing infectious disease in the country, faster growing than HIV.
What should be the takeaway message for people watching your story today?
I think the most important thing is to make sure that within 24 hours, if you think you've been bitten, to get those antibiotics that are so necessary. It could mean the difference between a couple of days of pain and struggle or a lifetime like me.
It'd be nice to have a doctor who was an advocate like you had.
Yeah, there are very few of them left in the country. There are only about 7 who are truly Lyme literate because systematically they're just having their licenses taken away.
I'm going to ask my doctor, are you Lyme literate?
Yes.
That's right. Well, we're glad you're healthy
Thank
and
you
with
so
us here in
much.
San Diego.
So
Brooke.
glad to be here with everyone.
All right, thanks for sharing your story.